Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time there lived a king and a queen. One day they were blessed with the birth of a beautiful daughter. They named the little princess Snow White. Sadly, the queen died soon after, and a few years later the king remarried. The new queen was beautiful, but very selfish and very vain. She had a magic mirror, and she would often ask it, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "You, O queen," the mirror would reply. And hearing this, the queen would smile with pride. The years passed by, and Snow White turned into a beautiful and gentle young girl, beloved by everyone in the kingdom. One day the queen spoke to the mirror as usual, but the answer was different this time. "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "You, O queen, are most fair, but Snow White is the fairest of them all." The queen could not believe what she had just heard, and she quickly decided that Snow White must die. The queen called her royal huntsman and ordered him to take Snow White into the forest, kill her, and bring back her heart to prove that she was dead. The huntsman was horrified. He loved the little princess and did not want to kill her. He took Snow White deep into the forest and told her, "Beware of your stepmother. She commanded me to kill you, but I can't, and I won't. Run away and escape deep into the forest and never come back." The huntsman left poor Snow White alone and brought the queen the heart of a wild boar. The queen was very happy seeing the heart, and she believed that poor Snow White was dead. "Now I'm the fairest of them all," she laughed. Meanwhile, Snow White ran as far as she could until she came to a cottage hidden deep in the forest. Since it appeared to be empty, she pushed open the door and went inside. The house was very small, but inside there was a very big mess. Quickly she dusted and cleaned the house and started to make dinner, but since she was so tired, she went off to take a nap. Later that day, the seven dwarfs who lived in the cottage entered inside, and they couldn't believe their eyes. Their home was clean and spotless. "Who could have done this?" they asked. They looked around. Dinner was cooking in the oven, and the table was set. They peered into the bedroom, where they saw the beautiful princess asleep. Just then Snow White woke up to find 7 little men standing by her bedside. "Don't be frightened," they told her. "How did you find this place?" they asked. Snow White told them her story. The 7 dwarfs were angry to hear the tale she told. "You must stay here with us," they said to her. She was very happy to have found a safe place to live, and the dwarfs were happy to have someone agree to keep their house clean. Very soon Snow White forgot all about the wicked queen as she and the 7 dwarfs started living a good life together. In the meanwhile, the queen herself was living happily too, until one day she thought about the magic mirror. Once again she asked it, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "Snow White, who lives with the 7 little men, is the fairest of them all," the magic mirror replied. When she heard this, the queen went mad with rage. The huntsman had tricked her, but this time she would take no more chances. She disguised herself as an old beggar woman and went to the dwarf's cottage at a time when she knew Snow White would be all alone. The wicked queen knocked on the door. When Snow White opened the door, she only saw a beggar woman standing there. "Try one of my apples, little girl. They are the most wonderful in the world," said the beggar woman. Snow White took one of the apples from the beggar woman's basket. When Snow White looked at the apple, she couldn't resist taking a bite of it. But as she did so, she immediately fell down dead. The apple was poisonous. "Nothing but a kiss from your true love can save you now," laughed the queen as she returned to her castle. When they arrived home, The dwarfs tried everything they could to make Snow White come back to life, but it was of no use. Grieving for her, they fashioned a coffin made of crystal and placed Snow White inside. Then the dwarfs carried the crystal coffin and Snow White to a special place in the middle of a clearing in the forest. The dwarfs sadly visited her there every single day after that. One day, a handsome prince came riding from a nearby kingdom. He saw Snow White laying in her crystal coffin and fell deeply in love with her. "How beautiful she is," he said, kneeling down to kiss her. His was the kiss of true love, the one thing in the world that could break the queen's evil spell. Snow White awoke and saw the handsome prince beside her. She realized then that this was the prince of her dreams. The prince, without hesitation, asked, "Will you marry me?" Snow White smiled and said, "Yes." The evil queen was soon banished from the kingdom, never to be seen again, and Snow White married her prince, and they lived in their castle happily ever after. And of course, the 7 dwarfs were always welcome to come for a visit. The end.